Have you ever stopped to consider that maybe type 1 and type 2 diabetes aren't that different after all? I've got a theory that puts type 2 and type 1 as 2 points on a single continuum of altered glucose metabolism. It is operating under the assumption that the loss of beta cell mass, of which both type 2 and type 1s experience, type 1s more than type 2, is the result of chronic inflammation resulting from a buildup of reactive oxygen species. I wrote a book about how I think that happened. But I want you to take a look at this graph. I've got the diabetic state over time. Insulin made is in blue, beta cell mass is in black. So we have this span of time initially, right? This is a healthy adult. We've got normal beta cell mass, normal insulin being made. Now, in this initial stage of beta cell die-off, that's kind of a state of inflammation that we don't really know about because it doesn't manifest as any sort of disease state. Most diabetics, I would argue all diabetics, experience a great deal of inflammation before diabetes even comes about. So your body may be inflamed and you may be losing beta cell mass without even knowing it. But there comes a point when you lose enough beta cells that the beta cells remaining are like, oh no, we're losing beta cells, so we need to ramp up production. And so begins this start of compensation, overcompensation, where the body realizes that it's losing beta cell mass and trending downward. So what happens is that the remaining beta cells start to increase insulin at an incredibly high rate. But the inflammation that is causing the beta cell die-off is also causing insulin resistance. So that abundance of insulin in the system that isn't able to metabolize glucose resorts to its secondary function, which is fat storage. That's right. Maybe it's switched. Maybe obese people don't get diabetes. Maybe it's people becoming diabetic prioritize fat storage and become obese. But eventually it gets to a point where the body cannot sustain that degree of insulin production with that continued inflammation causing even more beta cell mass, when eventually you get to a point where you are below the critical threshold and you are now a type 1 diabetic. The key distinction between type 1 and type 2 here is the speed at which that inflammatory cascade and that loss of beta cells happens. Type 1s experience a faster beta cell die-off, so they don't experience any of the secondary symptoms of that period of hyperinsulinemia.